Hey y'all, welcome to SLOP. Uh, I'm your friendly neighborhood organizer, Austin, and I'm here with Jason.
Hello, comrades.
And we're gonna talk a little international and national news and some trends, and maybe about t-shirts today. But yeah, this is one of the most unprofessional podcasts in the land, and uh, one of the only one of three socialist podcasts in Alabama. And we're happy to be here tonight. And ooh, man, oh, we're going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. And uh, we're going to talk about Palestine. And yeah, we're going to try to make it through. Both are very heavy subjects, and there's plenty to. I mean, we could spend days on each of those subjects, but we'll try to keep it tight tonight and maybe come back some other time and get even deeper into things. But yeah, to kick it off, let's see here. I can. Oh, there it is. Okay, all right. Oh no, wrong button. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Oh my God. Can you see I'm struggling today, Jay?
It's all good.
It's all good. Uh,
It's
and
what our youth
secretly,
come to expect, or our viewers have come to expect.
yeah, yes, we can't disappoint. But yeah, let's see what's trending now. Um, so, oh goodness, you see about that earthquake out in
I did
Russia?
see that. Yeah, it
And
was
then
like also supposed to come Chatka, and like it was an 8.8, and the tsunamis hit Hawaii all the way down south. So
I saw it hit Japan. I did not know that it. Ooh, oh, okay. So tsunami advisory lifted for Hawaii. All right, and that was yesterday. Wow.
wow,
I don't even know what I was doing yesterday. Um, yeah. Gilbert Arenas, he got arrested. Um, Not sure what's going on with Shannon. See, oh, he got fired with ESPN, or maybe not fired. I don't know. What the hell's a Lee Vogler? Yeah, this Danville councilman was set on fire. Uh, it looks to be, according to an article, it wasn't a political attack. It was some personal issue they had with each other. But ran in there with a 5 gallon bucket of gasoline and lit him on fire.
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
See, Republican.
City council, so it's nonpartisan, right? But you know, a white dude in Virginia. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
His name was Shootsy or something like that. Hmm. Let's see. So that's some of the things that are trending today. Uh, Kamala said she's not running for governor of California.
Thank God.
I don't know. She might be better than Newsom, though.
Yeah,
Oh
like
yeah,
she might not personally go around beating up the homeless.
yeah. Oh, there. Oh, look at that, Sydney Sweeney. We might hit that towards the end of the cast. We lost Chuck Mangione. Luigi's uncle. I think Deion Sanders, he had an operation for cancer, maybe. Ana de
Yeah.
Armas, she's hooked up with Tom Cruise now, so she's in that Scientology kick.
Oh wow.
There's the South Park episode this week. Did you get to watch that?
I missed it. I don't watch television, and I haven't seen a South Park episode in a very long time.
But yeah, let's see here. How about we? I did get to watch it, and it was pretty entertaining. Pretty entertaining. It's. But how about we pick a random country? What country we want to check out?
Let's see. We picked Jamaica last time, so let's do something different this time. I don't know. Anything speak to you?
Let's see here. El Salvador.
What's up in El Salvador?
Oh, soccer. Let's do past 20. Yep, more still soccer. Okay. God damn. Soccer. A whole lot of soccer. I guess terremoto is that going to be earthquake in Spanish, I'm guessing. Yeah. Damn, I nailed it.
Go.
A lot of soccer. Let's see for the week. Oh, a whole lot of soccer. Yeah. So that's what's trending in El Salvador, our remote concentration camp. Switch over real quick, see what's over here. Trending on X the last 24 hours. Powell. I'm assuming that's Jerome Powell. What else we got going on? Anything catching your eye? Yeah.
Not really.
And let's see. Let's see what's trending on YouTube real quick. Again, Zach D Films, right at the top. How giant rats clear landmines. How human teleportation would work, and how this expensive wood is made. I assume it's made by growing things.
Probably so.
Let's see here. Where are you at? We're just gonna jump right to you. News and politics. Cop discovers bodies in woman's trunk during traffic stop. Trump bombarded with questions by Epstein. Bombarded by Epstein questions in Scotland. Did you see his little cheating that he did out there?
I heard about it, but I didn't watch the video.
Yeah,
It surprised me he cheats at golf.
Yeah. And it wasn't even, he like had his caddy cheat for him.
Wow.
Was, a little extra. I watched that this week. Gang databases. That's very enlightening. You can be pretty much on a gang database if you wear clothes. Yeah. Got some other stuff. Conway, Kelly Conway's man, a Republican, been on ICE. Got a little allyship going on with him. And yeah, there's the earthquake. Kamchatka.
Yep.
I'm sure. Yeah. The Well, it says lefties losing it. CNN calls Manhattan shooter possibly white. Oh my goodness. Yeah. If you didn't see, we lost another CEO this week. Largest landlord in the nation. And yeah, does Obama have presidential immunity? It appears so. From what I gathered from the SCOTUS decisions the past couple years. But yeah,
You
Trump's
can't
pulling
have
out
it
all
both
the
ways.
stop. Yeah,
You
that's
can't say Trump and only Trump is immune, but other presidents aren't. It's like, sorry, Trump, but you made this possible. Your hand-picked Supreme Court has decided you had immunity for the things you did as president. So that applies to Obama too.
and see, Trump's going after like the most famous black people possible. He's going after Obama, Oprah, Beyonce, and Kamala. He's going after all of them, trying to distract from his pedophilia. So yeah, yeah. So that's some of the things that are trending. And with that, we are going to get into one of the most vile individuals to have ever walked the face of the earth, Jeffrey Epstein. So tell me, what do you know about Mr. Epstein before uh,
I mean, I know that he made his money as a financier and that he was involved in trafficking underage women, and he has a list of buddies. Well, there probably isn't like really a physical list, but there is like some amount of friends he had who were, I mean, were basically assaulting children over the course of decades.
yeah, so in my little research, the cat just about knocked over my coffee, and she already did that earlier this week. So, oh my God, I just about had a heart attack. But from just a little bit of my research, he started with the abuse in about 1975. And yeah, he was about 24 then. In 75, was he still at the Dalton School? So, yeah, around about the same time he is still at the Dalton School. So he graduates early from high school, a couple years early. Goes off to college, doesn't finish degree, goes off to another college. But then this guy here, Donald Barr, who you know, William Barr,
Uh,
the former Attorney General. Well, his dad hires him, this Donald Barr guy, to be a teacher, even though he's not graduated and uh, doesn't have a teaching certificate. But interestingly enough, Donald Barr, he wrote some fiction books, some sci-fi books. Uh, one of the main premises and themes, one of the main themes throughout these books uh, was basically sex slavery. So it's a little interesting, weird thing, right?
did I see in the pop up that Donald Barr worked for the OSS?
Yeah, yeah. So you can imagine that this is the entryway, right? This is like this depraved individual Donald Barr sees another depraved individual, Epstein, and to be an intelligence asset or whatever, could have very well have begun right here at the Dalton School. Yeah. But there's inappropriate behavior in there, and as much as a monster that Epstein is, it appears that he was intelligent, right? Graduating early and able to con his way or charisma his way, riz his way, as the kids say, into job after job after job. But he goes on to Bear Stearns, and after being dismissed from Dalton for poor performance. Bear Stearns, and then a few years later, he's a partner there. But then gets shit canned there as well for violations. So then he starts what he describes himself as a bounty hunter, financial bounty hunter, creating a one-man show, Intercontinental Assets Group, where he worked on recovering money for rich people, and also embezzling money for rich people. So, and this is probably where he starts. Hey, Uncle Warren, nice to see you. I was running a little behind when I was a pimp for dwarves back in the day. Oh, my goodness. Shout out Uncle Warren. Check out his show. Check out Extra Bulla. A lot of good news. Secret show. Fun. Yeah. So, yeah. Back to the lecture at hand. We got all kinds of, I don't know. There's so much to this. And this is where like doing scripted material is probably a smart thing, but he gets an Austrian passport, which is found in like 2017. And I don't know about you, but you got extra passport that doesn't have your real name on it. What does that say to you, Jay?
Says espionage to me.
It does to me. And there's a lot of like conflicting stuff with this whole, he's an espionage asset. But to me, there seems to be a lot of evidence to say that he was. Something that I found fascinating is this right here. During the 80s, during this period, one of Epstein's clients was Saudi Arabian businessman Adnan Khashoggi, the uncle of Dodi al-Fayed, who was the middleman in American weapons from Israel to Iran as part of the Iran-Contra affair in the 80s. Did you know that Israel helped with that? They helped get weapons into Iran back then.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And this is in the 80s. This is before he meets Maxwell. He meets currently in the 80s, he's hooked up with a Swedish model beauty pageant winner who became a physician. He's with her for like 11 years. But yeah, so you got this finance guy. He can do magical finance tricks like create shell companies and find embezzled money and embezzle money and things. So He gets hired by this Towers Financial uh, group, who is a collection agency, and then they spin that into being corporate raiders. And actually, he was one of the people who tried to take over Pan American in '87, but it failed. It was a failed bid. But you familiar with the whole? I mean, they're doing it like private equity is doing it nowadays, like with Red Lobster, where they bought Red Lobster and then they sold all the property to themselves and then leased the property back to Red Lobster and caused them to go bankrupt. Same sort of stuff happening here with the corporate raider stuff, where they get a company and then basically strip it for parts. But financial in '93 was discovered to be a Ponzi scheme and lost over $1 billion in '93. But it says that Epstein left the company by '89 and never was charged with involvement, even though I'm pretty sure he was highly involved with that. '88, he opens another firm, J. Epstein and Company, where he manages people's assets of $1 billion or more. So, and this is around the time that he gets Les Wexner, CEO of L Brands and Victoria's Secret. So remember, his abuse dates back to '75. Yeah. Uh, this is now 11 years later, and he's clearly still abusing women or children, uh, and women, probably. But there's the rumor that he got Wexner to sign over a power of attorney, a full power of attorney to him, because they were having an affair. Yeah. So they were like hugging up on each other and whatnot. But he became more and more in charge of Wexner's monies and foundations and nonprofits and yada, 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 and access to Victoria's Secret models. Yeah. Me if you've heard this. Yeah. But
No, this is all new to me.
so yeah, the wiki that I'm on, it's got a lot of stuff in it for sure, but it's also like missing some other things. Uh, little details here and there that I've picked up on by following all this uh, evil for the last few years. Yeah. So he goes into business with some Israelis, uh, you know, founding and around this time, he's also visiting Israeli defense forces and stuff in Israel uh, and whatnot. Now, this is my favorite part. But so Epstein was president of the company Liquid Funding Limited between 2000 and 2007. The company was an early pioneer in expanding the kind of debt that could be accepted on repurchase, or the repo market, which involves a lender giving money to a borrower in exchange for securities that the borrower agrees to buy back to at an agreed upon later time and price. The innovation was that instead of having stocks and bonds, it had commercial mortgages and investment grade residential mortgages bundled into complex securities as the underlying security. Does that sound familiar to you?
I mean, a little bit, as the the crash in '09.
Yes. Yes. So it appears that Jeffrey Epstein helped crash the economy with his innovations. Uh, so he's just uh, incredibly prolific in his misdeeds. Just whatever you got, he'll do it. Um, I don't know how to class. Would you classify him as a psychopath or a sociopath? Uh, you know,
I don't know the difference. I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know the difference.
neither do I. I know both are bad, and uh, seems that sociopaths are slightly able to integrate into society. So maybe sociopath, but so and it goes more and more. He basically helped bankrupt Bear Stearns with the mortgage-backed collateralized debt obligations. Uh, he tried to get out of his investments. There's an Israeli startup, and he's friends with former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, who's the defense minister and chief of staff of the IDF, CEO of the company Amir Aleha, Special Forces Officer, Pichas Borges, director of the company and former Defense Ministry Director General and commander of the IDF Cyber Unit 8200, which all these folks, destroyed Palestinian lives. It goes on and on. And I don't know how long. uh, uh, Going through all this is heavy to me. It goes into Maria Farmer. She was reported him to the FBI and the cops in New York in '96, uh, where in one of his New York mansion, which is like $77 million and like the biggest private home in New York. But she described a media room access through a hidden door. She said in there were men sitting there, and I looked at the cameras and I saw toilet, toilet, bed, bed, toilet, bed. It was very obvious they were like monitoring private moments. Uh, there were compact discs locked in his safe in New York with handwritten labels of young, name, which would be the victim, plus name, which would be the person that he's getting dirt on. Um, he admitted in recordings that he had dirt on people. Uh, in 2003, Epstein spoken in more than 5 hours, which is a cache of recordings unpublished prior to 2019. 2017, Epstein spoke in interviews with Michael Wolff, who is releasing a whole lot of new information about Epstein. You can check out some of his stuff. And then it starts going into when the legal issue started, which is around about the time he's destroying the economy, 2005, 2011. And it started off with 14-year-old stepdaughter had been taken to Epstein's mansion by an older girl. While there, she was allegedly paid $300, equivalent of $480 in 2024. I don't know why this is there, but to strip and massage Epstein. She was allegedly undressed, but left the encounter wearing underwear. Palm Beach police began a 13-month undercover investigation starting in March 2005. Had been reported to the FBI and the cops 10 years earlier. Uh, there's a lot of details we can go into, but I just wanted to maybe just highlight a few other things. There was his non-prosecution agreement, which violated Crime Rights Act. I can't remember what the name of it is, but he got a deal uh, from Acosta, who was a federal prosecutor, where him, any uh, named co-conspirators and any unnamed co-conspirators we not eligible for prosecution in this deal. Yeah. And he served 18 months for this and was allowed out on work release, like 12 hours a day. He used the sheriff's office as his office, had people coming and go in there. So he was still like, doing whatever. And, he traveled to New Mexico and France and New York. And I can't even remember how many homes he had, but it was like 5, I think: New Mexico, New York, Palm Beach, France, in Ohio, maybe. I think he had a place in Ohio, probably near Wexner's from Ohio. And then 2019 is the next case that came up. This is where they found the passport, and the indictment alleges dozens of underage girls were brought into Epstein's mansions for sexual encounters, and all these things like became unresolved on a level because he died shortly. He died. Well, Epstein didn't kill himself, right? The investigation spread to France, where one of his associates, Jean-Luc Brunel, was arrested, and he was too found dead in his jail cell in 2022. Right? And then the civil cases start. They start in 2008. Jane Doe versus Epstein, Jane Doe versus the United States on the Crime Victims' Right Act, where they said it was illegal for them to have that deal to protect the co-conspirators. Virginia Giuffre, and you'll see Virginia Giuffre also named as Virginia Roberts as well in previous cases. In 2015, Giuffre versus Ghislaine Maxwell, Jane Doe versus Epstein and Trump. Now, this is the interesting one. This is Katie Johnson, where she says that in 1994, when she was 13 years old, she was abused by Ann Trump. The suit was dismissed by a federal judge in May 2016 because it did not raise valid claims under federal law. I don't know what the fuck that means, but to me, that sounds like some bullshit. The woman filed another federal suit in New York in June, but it was withdrawn 3 months later. And I think there was some technicality thing that it was withdrawn. And then a third federal suit was filed in New York in September 2016. Now, you can find her testimony if you look up Katie Roberts' testimony on YouTube, and she lays it all out there. And this is in 94 when this is all going down, and this is 2016. But and she's got witnesses and people that signed affidavits that when that all happened to her, she told everybody, or she told some people what happened. Um, and then Sarah Ransom versus Epstein and Maxwell. Uh, Bradley Edwards defamation versus Epstein. Maria Farmer. This is the woman and her sister, uh, her 15-year-old sister at the time, were molested on the New Mexico property. Uh, Jennifer Arraeos versus Epstein and Maxwell. Catherine Doe plus two other plaintiffs versus Epstein's estate. Jane Doe versus Epstein's estate. Teresa Helm, Annie Farmer, Maria Farmer, Juliet Bryant, and an unidentified woman versus Jane Doe 15 versus Epstein's estate. Tiala Davis versus Epstein's estate. Jane Doe's 1 through 9 versus Epstein's estate. J.J. Doe versus Epstein's estate. U.S. Virgin Islands versus Epstein's estate. Jane Doe versus Maxwell and Epstein's estate. Jane Doe's versus another 9 versus Epstein's estate. Jane Doe versus Epstein estate. Jane Doe versus Epstein estate, 2021. And the government of the United States Virgin Islands versus J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, which is where at least 4,700 transactions, financial transactions took place. So that's kind of and he had so many people. He was connected to so many people. Of course, I heard Clinton come out and say, y'all go on and open up the Epstein files. I ain't afraid of what's in there. So it sounds like Clinton's pretty confident about his innocence in this, even though it's the MAGAs were assuming that he was going to, be part of the rape of children. But you see tons of names, right? We see Katie Couric, Donald Trump, Woody Allen, Jeff Bezos, Sergey Brin of Google fame, Stephen Hawking, Naomi Campbell, Harvey Weinstein. So, of questionable characters. You know, he had several jets, and we could go on, but I think we'll cut it here on Epstein. That's just kind of like the high overview of the Epstein case. Yeah.
So how was Trump mixed up with him?
So Trump, by all appearances, met him in about 1987. And it appears they, started socializing together or whatever. And I would have to assume that with the way Trump did business, that Epstein also helped finance his real estate deals or set up real estate deals and stuff like that. And Epstein has a connection to Israel, clearly. And I'm speculating here, but because I think, where are we? Did I pull it up yet? No, damn it. But Trump has a history with Russian Israeli mafia, Russian mafia, Israeli mafia, and here it is. So yeah, the Bayrock group. Yeah. It says it was founded in 2001. Prior to this, in the 80s, Trump already had connections to mafia, but this is just one instance later. You see, working on a high rise in 2005, but it appears that like during the 80s, because Epstein's an expert in money laundering by this time, and Trump was used by Russians to launder money through his real estate and stuff, deals and stuff. Like there were like something along the lines of 1,600 penthouse apartments or high priced apartments that were bought in cash at his various hotel, various, real estate holdings. And that all started in the 80s. So they're just, they were doing the same shit. Yeah. But it appears that, they first met around 1987, and they're just, birds of a feather. Because you can go into Trump's, you know, like Trump's buying the teen beauty pageant, right? And like admittedly going in there when they're all these children are in there naked and just having a look around. He's like admitted this on tape. Yeah. So they're very much the same person. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But yeah. Oh, god damn. We're surrounded by monsters, dog.
Right. We're ruled by the worst people.
I think that's what's been why I've been so down the past few months, is just like seeing this pedophile get elected again. And
it just seems like you have to be a depraved sociopath to get anywhere near power.
yeah, and that's all they want is,
more money and more power. And all of them.
Now, I will say that Epstein has a very bootstrappy story. His mom was a teacher, and his dad was a landscaper, I think, groundskeeper. There we go, a groundskeeper. So a very bootstrappy story from the young Jeffrey Epstein to raise up. But if you have zero morals and you're a sociopath, I guess that's where you can get in this world.
Yep.
Dead in a fucking jail cell. But yeah, are we going to talk about Palestine now?
Do we want a palate cleanser? Do we want some good news in between?
I'll try that. Let's see here. I got anything kind of where
I've got a couple of good things.
Where are you? Okay, let's hear them.
So Zoran Mamdani beats out all NYC mayoral candidates combined in a new poll.
Ooh.
So a new poll of 1,453 New York City residents conducted by Zenith Research and Public Progress Solutions from July 16th to July 24th found Mamdani with a commanding lead in the current field of 5, attaining 50% of support, while the combined level of support for the other 4 others and undecided likely voters totaled 49%.
So that's 49%. Is that broken up over 4 other or 3 other candidates?
4 other candidates. So he's at 50% versus everybody else combined.
And how does that, like, can you get just plurality in the election, or like would second place gets, let's say, 15%, would they have to have a runoff? Or like if you got 30, he's not going to get 30%, but you know what I'm saying, like still the ranked choice stuff.
It's so that they won't use ranked choice in the general election. That's only in the Democratic primary.
So does he
So
have to get 50 plus one, or he
yeah,
can get 49% and still, or can he get 49% and still win the mayoral race?
I think he has to get 50 plus one, and if he gets 49%, there'd be a runoff.
Okay.
But it looks
He,
like, he is well on the way to do well. Yeah, you can only draw so much from one poll. You have to look at an average of polls, and you have to consider how good historically a particular pollster is. But it's still very, very encouraging news. Cuomo is in second, receiving 22% compared to the 50% that Mamdani gets, and Curtis Sliwa gets 13%.
the guardian angel himself.
Yep.
Yeah, I was reading an article today about Mamdani, and they talked a lot about his social media presence and how like he's getting like 50% of his views are from non-followers and stuff like that, and he got something like 200 million in the 200 and something million, maybe 260 in the month of the voting for the Democratic primary. And but you know like which that social media presence reminded me of Obama's election runs, where he had a very good social media presence by all accounts. But you know, at the core of it, like though, is it's his damn policies. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they want to look at like him being charismatic, which is good and helpful, and they want to look at his social media stuff, which is good and helpful, but it's very fundamentally policies for the working class. This is not fucking rocket science. Folks aren't stupid, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like if
You have to be able to answer the question. If I vote for me, and I will make your life better by doing blank. And the Democrats don't want to deliver
right,
on any of those things, so they're trying to copy the flash, but not the substance.
exactly, exactly. Like, and I saw Cory Booker on congressional floor being really upset and talking about how the Democrats need to make a stand and all this. And you know, uh, I have only the only person in the Senate or Congress that I've heard, not A.O. Sanders, but I think it's Jim McGovern. I think he's in Massachusetts. He is the only person that I heard, and I heard this one time in a town talking about calling for a strike. You know, if these Democrats were serious about working class people and taking care of the working class, they would say this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's once again, it's it's bluster, it's showmanship, but without no teeth to what they're saying. You know,
Absolutely. I don't understand the reluctance among. I guess I get it because they're wealthy themselves, the wealthy Democrats who don't want to pursue working class policies. But I guess they'd rather lose than win, or they'd rather win on their own terms, where they offer nothing and we like it.
Yeah, it'll be my way, only my way. I know best. Like, you know, I mean, hell, you've even got Marjorie Taylor Greene outflanking the Democrats on Palestine, you know?
Right. No, I'm sure a lot of her. Yeah, what he's referring to is that Marjorie Taylor Greene recently came out and said that what's happening in Gaza is genocide. And while she's right about that, it just seems like her opposition to Israel comes from a place of anti-Semitism,
Right.
and I don't feel any. I don't feel any. I don't feel it's necessary to give her any props for it.
But I will say, if her was it a not a resolution? If her law, yeah, I I'm having a hard time today. If what she wanted was passed, though, the effect would be no weapons to Israel, right? Which,
Right.
I can't argue with that. And I saw today that Sanders is trying to introduce in the Senate stopping all weapons to Israel. So I know, I don't think he's side, which is sticks in a lot of leftist crawl. Uh, but again, if what he wanted passes, it would have the effect wants, right? Which is no weapons to Israel. But yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't think they're going to beat Mom Donnie, dog. I think
I don't think so either. The same poll shows that he is up 17 points with Jewish voters in New York City.
so. Clearly, American Jewish voters like understand where he's coming from when he's like, sure, you know, Israel can exist if everybody has equal rights, you know, uh, and I'm not going to pretend I know what the solution is out there. Some people say two-state solution, some people say one-state solution, but whatever it is, equal rights for all is, the solution. But you got like 82% of Israelis that are foaming at the mouth to destroy the folks out there.
Right.
And but there's but that 82%, if I remember correctly, I think it was something in the 90s a few months ago. So they are losing the battle internally. And I've seen some videos out there of young Israeli folks that call themselves refuseniks, um, not get jailed instead of serving for the IDF. And it's a small movement. It's actually looks like it's being led by a trans Israeli, which I found interesting. So things are changing. The big thing that needs to happen still is all these countries that trade with Israel, they need to stop. China, I'm looking at you since you're the biggest trade partner with Israel. That would have significant, I mean, the BDS, right? That would it worked with South Africa, it'll work here, you know?
Yeah, France, Canada, and the UK have all announced plans to recognize a Palestinian state.
That is an excellent step in the right direction.
Yeah. But American opinions are souring on Israeli policy towards Gaza. More than half of Americans have an unfavorable opinion of Netanyahu, and only 32% of Americans support the war in Gaza. So that's down from 42% a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And because it can hardly be classified as a war.
Yeah, if you want to call it a war, right? Like where you're talking about shooting dozens of civilians near who are trying to gather aid and get food to their starving families, and you're gunning them down, and you're blowing up hospitals and doing all this other stuff. So yeah, there's not a Palestinian army that's able to take the field and fight back. So it's just a one-sided.
Yeah.
Shooting.
Israel thinks they're going to get what they want, but it's really turned into them against the world. Like the folks in power in the United States, like even conservatives are against Israel now. If I recall, this is like 52% or something like that. Like the worm has turned, and it's just a matter of time now, as far as, and it's even turning internally in their country, although it's still got a ways to go.
Right.
So like you just said, 3 more countries, Western countries, are trying to recognize Palestine. Like they've, it's almost, I'm not going to say it's almost over, but the end has started for this bullshit.
I hope so. I mean, seeing some of the photographs that are coming out of the starving children, I mean, it's been heartbreaking.
Yeah. I mean, it's
80,000. They say 80,000 Palestinians have been killed, mostly women and children.
Which I've seen reporting where it's up to 500,000. So I don't know how truthful that is, but 80,000 should be enough,
Yeah, ought to be.
But 500,000 people, and I'm sure if you put in, like, there's so many. I mean, you see these babies with no legs, that survived a bombing or whatever. Like, it's just, I mean, it's shit straight out of the Holocaust, It's
Right.
the same fucking pictures, dude. It's the same fucking pictures.
I mean, even Trump is acknowledging the starvation, because Netanyahu is trying to say there's no starvation in Gaza. And Trump is like, I don't know. I've seen the pictures. I've seen what's on television. You can't fake that sort of thing.
Yeah. And they're trying to say that Hamas is stealing all the food aid, and that's been shown to be like, the amount of blood in the zone with lies is like, incalculable. Like every time they say a lie, it's almost instantly refuted,
Mm-hmm.
And this fucking Nazi Yahoo has been at this game since before I was born. His daddy in the late 70s was bringing him up doing this shit, and he's been at it, with all this Middle East interventionism by the U.S. is a direct result of like Israel pushing for it, pushing all their foreign policy, because ultimately what they want is a quote Israel. Have you seen that patch out there?
No, I haven't.
So if you look up like the Greater Israel Project, but it like they want to span into fucking Egypt and over into Jordan and into Syria and into Saudi Arabia. Like that's their fucking plan, dude. Is like to take over parts of every country they're next to.
The far right wing of Netanyahu's coalition includes these wacky settler people who are chomping at the bit and demonstrating outside of Gaza, ready to go and settle. So I've been reading articles about settlers waving banners and chanting and just waiting permission to go in and occupy Gazan territory. And that's true of the West Bank as well.
Yeah. You can just check it out right here. Where is it? Let's see here. Yeah. This talks about back in the day, but and this map is not. This isn't the map I've seen. Where is it? Oh, it might not be here. But yeah, their ultimate plan is like this. There we go. That's what they want right there. And as you can see, it takes up Kuwait into Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. Oh, is that a little bit of Turkey too? It looks like. Maybe not.
Yeah, good luck with that.
But yeah. Oh. And they only got what, 9 million people? They want to put 9 million people. They'll be hard pressed to manage that swath of land. But they expect it. They expect the United States to back it the entire way, and the people of the United States, you know what I mean? They should have tried this 20 years ago, or 25 years ago, or 40 years ago, 45 years ago. But yeah, it's and it's crazy. Like we call like all this stuff is reminiscent of the Nazis, right? But like they started all this in the 1800s with these plans, like I think the Zionist movement, it started with some dude in Ohio in the 1820s or something like that. Like, so it like a end times type preacher guy in the 1820s. So it's just you look back and you just keep looking back, and there's I thought it was in the 1870s, and then I look a little more and it's like some preacher from the 1820s is where like the Zionist movement started. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm sorry for my low energy today.
No, I'm feeling it too.
It's a little hard to crack wise on these topics as well.
Right.
I much prefer talking junk on memes and whatnot. But
You got any names for us? We can move on.
uh, yeah, let's see if we got where
What
we
did you
at?
have on T-shirts?
Oh yeah, let me see if I can find it. Uh, where are you? No, come back here. Somewhere I had something. Oh, okay. Well, before we do that, let me do this one real quick. Uh, have you seen the new Sydney Sweeney ads?
I did. I understand there was some controversy about them, but I didn't see the ads or I didn't read up on what the controversy was.
So yeah, Sydney Sweeney jeans ad sparks controversy, and here's why. Uh, so she's got her new ad out there for jeans, uh, and in one of the videos for the campaign, Sweeney, clad in a denim on denim fit, dabbles in some wordplay, telling cameras genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determined in traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My jeans are blue, she continued, with jeans doing double duty as the camera panned both across her true blue denim fit and her blue eyes. With the camera lingering on intimately on her figure and the parent's sensual tone throughout the campaign, consumers were quick to point out that they saw as a regressive nature of the material. Blonde bombshell catered to the male gaze. It was a quintessential symbol of a bygone era. Uh, but yeah, here we go. Even more concerning, critics argued, was the use of Sweeney as the archetype of good genes. A conventionally attractive, white, thin, blonde woman with blue eyes being held up not just as the beauty ideal, but as the pinnacle of good breeding, bordered on eugenic thinking, they asserted, and contributed to the glorification of whiteness. Uh, Defined generally as the use of select breeding to improve the human race through emphasis on desirable traits of pseudoscience and eugenics has a dark backstory. Used in the past as a vehicle for racial violence and sterilization, which is still going on with immigrant folks. That there's been recent accounts of immigrant folks uh, being sterilized at the border. Lifting Sweeney's genes up is good, critics said, notches into a painful, dangerous history and tightens the bind whiteness has on the beauty ideal. So, yeah. But it's also goes back to a. Oh, can we listen to Doja Cat? You want to try?
Give it a try.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring.
Oh, so close. So close.
Often determined in traits like hair color,
One of these days. But yeah, and that's also
personality, and even eye color. My genes are.
this is painful.
Yep.
I appreciate you, Doja Cat. We'll let you talk
Blue.
in the background. But yeah, so yeah, that's the Sydney Sweeney gene situation, and it also calls back to Brooke Shields' genes 1980 campaign. So yeah, same basically a rerun of this 1980s campaign that Brooke Shields. Guess how old she was when they had her doing this?
I don't know.
15.
Wow.
I don't know why I tried to do this.
The secret of life lies hidden in the genetic code.
You can already hear it in the genetic code.
Yep. Someday we'll get you some good internet.
Right. Maybe we. So from genes, can I find it? Where are you? From genes to. Here we go. Oh, God. To t-shirts, like that segue. So this talking about the 11 best t-shirts money can buy. So we played this game before. You get to guess on some of these. So Hanes short sleeve beefy tee, pack of 2. Editor's pick. No, I'm gonna have to. I like the non beefy ones personally, but ain't gonna lie, Hanes is a lot of my go to, and I'll show you why I picked this little article especially. But you got to guess on these.
I don't know, $20 a piece.
$12 for 2, but 51 at Target.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so out of touch about how much stuff costs. I buy all my clothing from thrift stores.
That's you can get some awesome shit at thrift stores, man. Honestly, that's my preferred place to shop. Because you go into wherever else and you see like a dozen of the same damn shirt. And it's like it's kind of weird, But you go into a thrift store and you found this like one like random shirt, and it's like oh, and it's 20 years old, and what have you. We got a Gap organic pocket t-shirt, organic. What do we think here?
I don't know, 15.
Nice 12. I want to get to the okay.
I don't know. It seems
Well,
like
you got to spit these out.
12. Let's go for 12. $20.
20. 12 at back. 12 at Backcountry on cheap. Gildan crew t-shirts 12 pack. This is the old man t-shirt.
Yep. I don't know. That's gonna be $20.
36, but like what, $3 a piece?
Yep.
Okay. Here's CDLP midweight t-shirt.
A midweight t-shirt. 15.
$105.
$5 for a t-shirt.
Yeah, dog. Yeah.
Negative, sir. That's a negative, Ghost Rider.
Okay. So why I picked this article right here. Imogen plus Willie, the Cotton Project T 2-pack. A 2-pack.
It's got to be $50.
$50 a piece.
Wow.
But I found this is the interesting spot. There, so I think right here, that's Alabama. And then we got North Carolina, Tennessee, and over to Tennessee again. But it's all a regional system, a regional economic system for this t-shirt, And I think this place out in Alabama, I looked this up like 3 years ago. I was just looking up co-ops and stuff. I think this is a co-op as well. So I'd like to look at more the Cotton Project. I found that very interesting. And made in the USA. Maybe I'll buy a pack. You know what I'm saying? For like, maybe I'll pay in installments for the 2 T-shirts, but yeah, $98. Imogen and Wiley. Everything farming and production takes place within 400-mile radius. Oh, I thought that was pretty cool. That's why I picked this little article right here.
Okay.
The Uniqlo dye color crew neck T-shirt. What do we got?
$30.
8.
Oh wow.
Abercrombie and Fitch.
Man, I'm so bad at this. 25.
Damn, nailed
Oh,
it. We got a couple more. Buck Mason Pima curved hem tee.
oh, I already saw it. Sorry.
That's all right. 45. Okay. RRL waffle knit short sleeve Henley. I don't think this shouldn't count as a Henley.
35.
What are we? 175.
75. Ralph Lauren T-shirt. No.
And everybody World Boxery trash tee.
I wouldn't pay $10 for that.
40. So yeah, those are some T-shirts.
You tell how much I go shopping.
Yeah. All right.
I'd say if they don't have it at the thrift store, I'm not buying it. And that's not just for the price, even though I am cheap. That's for the environment as well, because of the environmental costs of fast fashion.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Buy used, pass it down. Big believer. I saw this in the Atlantic. Let's ban more non-existent things. Some notes on the Clear Skies Act, which seeks to ban weather modification. And I dropped in the chat, Republicans are introducing to prohibit weather modification in the United States. Did you see that article I dropped in the chat about there's the weather modification that, so you got the Atlantic folks saying, oh, don't worry about it, right?
Okay.
But out in California, they're using an old aircraft carrier to do just that. So just found that a little interesting. Weather modifications going on. The Atlantic says it's non-existent. But yeah, I can show that real quick. Oh my God. Yeah, here we go. Researchers quietly planned a test to dim the sunlight. They wanted to avoid scaring the public. So this was done last year, and they're using a decommissioned aircraft carrier to do it, and it's billionaire back. So what is it, folks? Is it happening? Is it not happening? Are Republicans right? Should we block the sun out? Should we be changing weather patterns? Because it warns here of a thing called termination shock, which is even if they succeed in cooling the climate, temperatures could spike upwards if the processes are abruptly shut down before countries have transitioned away from burning planet-warming fossil fuels, an outcome described by experts as termination shock. So it seems like we're children playing with fire. Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yes, it does. They want to, and I read it as they want to keep burning fossil fuel and use another technology that they don't understand how it really works to keep burning fossil fuels instead of just, I don't know, moving away from them and use sequestration to capture carbon emissions and put more trees in place, and you know, some things that seem a whole lot more practical, right? But that's
All
my
this
take.
to try to preserve the status quo.
Yeah. Yes, 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 indeed. Uh, Another little tidbit. Not Trump. Thailand and Cambodia reaffirmed ceasefire after China brokered meeting in Shanghai. Saw Trump out there trying to take credit for that. And yeah, doesn't look like that's the case. So, oh, he ain't gonna get his Nobel Prize. Yeah. So we might come back to the two things. Well, we'll definitely be revisiting Epstein. We'll definitely be revisiting Palestine, but I think, folks, that's about all for tonight, Jay. Unless you got something.
That's all I had.
All right. Well, I do want to see if I can find it here real quick. Yeah. And I'll drop this in the chat. Our comrades need support needed for urgent wrist surgery. Wrist has been, they lost her job a few months ago, lost her health insurance, and they're trying to raise money. And just, my wrist was broken since March due to a minor dirt biking accident. I've been without full use of my dominant hand for nearly half a year. Over 5 months, I exhausted means of immobilization to heal the injury and require surgery to put a screw through my scaphoid wrist bone. I'm requesting funds due to losing my job and insurance in February as a direct result of everything going on in this country. The surgery is on August 7th, and if I cannot pay in full beforehand, the cost goes to $13,000 to $21,000. I appreciate your assistance. And I'm going to just drop this in the chat. What the country? Yeah.
Yep.
So, and I really can't. That's just amazing. What the hell is the difference between paying before and paying after, right? But a $8,000 difference between paying before the surgery and paying after, just disgusting. But please share and donate if you can. I know it's hard out there. Yeah, and we will be back soon. There's a lot going on. There's always a lot going on. We appreciate y'all for listening. Please comment, like, share, subscribe, do all those things. Help us grow. Let us know what we're doing right. Let us know what we're doing wrong. We appreciate the feedback because we certainly everything. So yeah. I think with that, as we like to say around here, all the power to all the people. We the people break our chains together. Solidarity forever, y'all.
Solidarity forever.